Welcome to Every Child Belongs. I'm Kim Botto, an adoptive mom, grandma, and advocate for kids and teens with disabilities, as well as a longtime leader of kids in student ministries. In this show, we explore how we can create spaces where every child feels heard and valued, whether neurodivergent, differently abled, or they've experienced trauma. Every child belongs. We'll hear from educators, parents, professionals, and more, finding practical ideas that help build a compassionate and supportive world for every child. Let's get started. Today, I have Henry Tribes on here with me. And Henry, when Dave and I were dreaming up this podcast and we talked about people, different professions we wanted on here, barber was not on the list. But I found you on Instagram and saw the way that you interacted with neurodivergent kids, and I just wanted to talk to you.
Yes.
And you're not just a barber, you're also a dad and a husband.
Yeah.
You live in Dallas,
Yes.
and you specialize in sensory-friendly haircuts for neurodivergent kids.
Yes.
So as we just intro you to the listeners, what more do you want people to know about you?
Yeah, just that, I've been a barber for 10 years. I've moved around a bit. I'm originally Nigerian, so I'm a
Mhm.
Nigerian immigrant. Came to the States in 2003. I went to business school. I have a college degree in marketing. So, I don't think like I had a barbering trajectory, or I think like even this whole journey that I'm on right now has been completely like it's been just serendipity, honestly. I've moved around a bit. So Nigerian originally, lived in Minnesota, lived in Washington D.C., lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, lived in Dallas. I'm living in Dallas now. Some of my barber friends joke that I'm on the run. I'm not on the run. I have a wife who's a pediatrician, so I've just kind of followed her on her journey to become a medical doctor, and doing her residency and things like that. So wherever she goes, I'm just right behind her. But yeah, I think that's all I would like the audience to know for now.
Okay, well, I want to say I do know that you move around a lot. Any city that you move to is fortunate to have you,
Thank you.
especially families who have neurodivergent kids.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're generous. I mean, you send clippers to barbers in Nigeria every year. But
Yes.
I want to, as I'm watching the videos of you interacting with kids with differences,
Yes.
like how did you get started? How did you move from being a barber to being a sensory friendly barber?
Yeah, so the story's gonna blow your mind because it wasn't something that I necessarily set out to do. I think I was just led to this path, right? And it all started honestly just last year, February last year. Yeah, February 2024. A long story short, bought my wife a weighted blanket, used the weighted blanket, loved the weighted blanket, decided it might be a good idea to integrate the concept of a weighted blanket into a traditional hair cutting cape, invented the weighted cape in the process, started using the weighted cape on my, just standard neurotypical clients.
Mhm.
But people told me immediately, hey, look, you're missing out on a completely you're missing out on a community that could benefit off of your invention. Like, yeah, this is nice for like the neurotypical clients, but this could be a need for neurodivergent individuals, especially kids who really struggle with haircuts. So this was very fascinating to me, and I just wanted more information. At this point, I didn't even know what a sensory friendly haircut was, admittedly. So I just went down the rabbit hole of like doing the research, watching the YouTube videos, joining every autism specific group out there, and then I came across a woman named Kate Owens of Sensory Safe Solutions.
Okay.
So she has a nonprofit that goes around the country certifying barbers like me to be more, autism friendly with their services, or sensory friendly with their services. So she offers a 2-hour Zoom course to barbers like me. So she assured me that, hey, you have all the tools you need to be able to take this class and start servicing neurodivergent individuals ASAP. So I was like, yes, this is exactly what I needed to like be able to build up that courage and confidence to start servicing neurodivergent individuals, especially kids. So I took the course. I also connected with other sensory friendly barbers and stylists that I found on the internet. Jelly Robinson in Houston is amazing. And just a few other sensory friendly barbers and stylists. Luckily for me, they were very open, very transparent. They welcomed me in, they embraced me, and they were willing to share information about their experiences and what they've learned. So after that, I was able to finally feel like I was ready, and I took my first neurodivergent client December 2024, and I just started with just one a week, and I kept posting in all the autism pages, hey, I'm a sensory friendly barber in Dallas, Texas. If your child struggles with haircuts, please bring them to me. And next thing you know, I was doing, two a week, and then it was five, and then, now I'm doing 15 a week, or about I'm doing 60 sessions a month.
Wow.
And next year, that's gonna be about 100 sessions a month. So things just kind of skyrocketed. Things moved pretty fast. And I'm lucky enough that the parents gave me the green light to be able to, record and share some of the content of, these sessions on the internet, because that has made that has made all the difference. And now next year I plan on expanding, hiring and training people and servicing even more families.
Good, good. Well, you said, you're lucky. I want to say, Henry, you're gifted. I
Thank you.
you are gifted. I told you before we started,
Yeah.
I watch your videos and I train a lot of churches and organizations on how to engage with kids with sensory differences who are neurodivergent. Your videos and the way you interact with kids is great
Thank you.
training.
Thank
So
you.
Henry, how did you learn all this stuff?
Yeah, so a lot of it is intuitive for me, being a father of two toddlers, right? I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. So there's a lot of redirection that comes with being a parent of two toddlers. So a lot of that is intuitive for me, just being a father. And like I said, I have a great mentor in Houston named Jelly Robinson. I got to give her a special shout out. Jelly Robinson in Houston is incredible. She's been doing this for 11 years. So hours and hours and hours spent on the phone with Jelly. And this,
Oh,
keep in
wow.
mind, this is somebody I've never met. Like, we've never met in person. So hours and hours spent with Jelly on the phone of her just, you know, unofficially training me to like be able to do what I do. And then I'm also a part of a group called Sensory Society. We're like a network of sensory friendly providers, and we provide everything from haircuts to, I think we have a sensory friendly photographer in the group as well. We have therapists, we have OTs, speech therapists, we have all sorts of, sensory providers in there. So being in this group has also taught me a lot, because we meet every Thursday via Zoom and we just share each other's experiences. We share resources with one another. So being a part of that group has also been incredibly helpful. So I think just staying a student, Kim, and being inquisitive and just willing to learn more and go deeper, I think is what's made the biggest difference.
Well, you talked about I love that you guys get together because yeah,
Yeah,
we learn so much from other people that are doing the same work.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So you talked about your coach. Is it Jelly?
Jelly Robinson
Okay,
in
Jelly.
Houston.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the best coaching that Jelly gave you? What are the best tips?
So, oh my God, where do I start? So she, a lot of the training she's given me has been very comprehensive, like everything from like language, right? Keep in mind, just a year ago, I feel like I didn't even really know how to I didn't feel comfortable speaking with people about like neurodiversity or anything, because I feel like I didn't have the language down. But Jelly was the one who introduced to me like individual first language,
Mhm.
right? And letting the parents pretty much tell you what they prefer. Because some people prefer saying their kid is on a spectrum. Some people prefer saying I have an autistic kid. Some
Mhm.
people prefer saying I have a kid with different abilities. So just letting the parents lead and just listening to their way of like addressing certain things, and then just kind of going from there. So her teaching me language was completely a game changer for me, right? And then just also just sensory integration. That was also huge for me. Her teaching me all the different senses and how I can incorporate that into my sessions. Like, okay, if a kid if a kid is, having, visual sensory overload, how do you do things to balance that? How do you feed their proprioceptive needs, vestibular needs, things like that? She was able to really get me to understand, and I've been able to incorporate it into my sessions. So honestly, it's a lot, but I would say those are two very important things that she taught me.
Sure. So how do you even know if a child is overwhelmed visually, and what do you do?
Oh, awesome. It's just picking up on certain nonverbal cues. And keep in mind, a lot of the work is done before the child even comes in. I literally just got off an hour of phone calls talking to parents who fill out a 15 question questionnaire or a 15 question intake form. And then I spend about 10, 15 minutes on the phone with them, just kind of, learning about the child, learning what their triggers are, you know, what their previous experiences with other barbers were. So I can kind of curate a personalized experience for that particular session. So a lot of the work is done before the child even comes in. So now that I have all this information, when they come in, I'm looking out for certain things. Okay, your child gets overwhelmed when it's too bright or too loud. Okay, I'm looking for certain things. And when I find that the child is reacting a certain way to a certain stimuli, then I just adjust as needed.
Yeah, and in the videos, you can see you doing that.
Yes.
And what I love in your videos, you're also narrating. You're saying, "Oh, he likes to sit on the floor. We're gonna do a haircut on the floor today." And you
Yes.
you let them pick the spot where they feel most
Yeah.
comfortable. Now, I wanna go
Yep.
back to you talking about prepping because I know you talk a lot about you have that preliminary conversation with the
Yes.
parents.
Yes.
Gosh, there's so much that those of us who aren't barbers, but we interact with kids who are neurodivergent can learn from that
Yes.
as far as getting information that's helpful. What is the most interesting thing that a parent has told you about their child that has helped you then once they've come in the barbershop?
The most interesting thing, honestly, like a lot of my funnest sessions are my sensory seekers who are hyperactive. For me, those are the ones that are just fun because it's just like, okay, I get to let the kid be free and just move freely throughout my space. And, I get to like try out different methods of like different sensory inputs, like okay, he likes anything that has to do with spinning. Okay, fun. Well, maybe we're just gonna spin around in my chair, in between me going over their hair with the clippers, right? Or me just doing haircuts while the child is on the move, because the child just won't sit in a chair, wear a cape. Some of these like conventional ways that we're so accustomed of like doing haircuts. So for me as a barber, it's really just challenging everything I've learned as a barber and how, the haircut sessions should be structured, and just going against that if that's what's gonna, meet the child's needs, right? So for example, like I've been a barber for 10 years, and typically when somebody comes in the shop, it's they sit in the chair, they wear a cape, and then you start cutting their hair. But I've had to completely reverse that like way of thinking and just go, okay, well, maybe I should just spend 5 to 10 minutes just, you know, playing with the toys with the kid, introducing
Mhm.
him to certain toys and fidgets that I have, building a relationship with him, building that trust before I even touch any tools or any supplies, right? So, a lot of it has just been kind of learning as I go. The more sessions I do, the more I learn, the better I get. And, I still very much am in student mode, and I still try to learn as much as I can. And I think that's why I've been able to grow so much. It's just getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, I know nothing and there's still more to learn. And and just stay in student mode, right? I've had many people inquire about me teaching, and I'm just like, I'm not comfortable teaching yet. I just want to keep learning and just keep serving my clients the best way that I can.
Gosh, I mean, that's a life lesson. I think until we take our last breath, we need to be in student
Yes,
mode and have that mindset where we want to continue to grow
absolutely.
and learn new things. You talk about trust, and you do. It's not just plopping them in the chair, but what are some specific things that you do to build trust that maybe some of us can use some of those ideas when we're working with kids?
Well, the biggest thing is just, just treating them like human beings, right? And just, treating them just like an individual, right? And just letting them dictate the pace. That's been huge. Like, I let the child dictate. There was a time I cut a child outside, like, it was, like, 90 degrees, but the child wanted to be outside, so I took my clippers outside, and I completed the haircut outside. So, letting the child dictate the pace, right? Treating them as an individual, and most importantly, just having positive energy. Oh my god, energy kids read energy
Yeah, they do.
like you wouldn't believe, right? As soon as they
Yes.
walk in the room, they can feel the energy, right? And that's why I have to make sure I'm the best version of myself for each session. If I'm not, I don't do it, right? If I'm not, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically 100%, I would rather just not do the session because my last sensory session of the day deserves the best me, as the first session got, right? So,
Mhm.
so just taking care of myself has also been a huge, huge, huge thing for me. But yeah, I mean, going back to your question, as far as building trust, it's just treating them as an individual, letting them set the pace, and
Mhm.
just having fun, like, just being a kid again, and just letting them be comfortable in my space, letting them move freely, and honestly, that's pretty much half the battle for sure.
Yeah, you don't have a certain way that you do haircuts. You're doing it the way that it's best for the kid. As we continue this conversation, I want to let you know my new book, Boundless Hope, is available now. If you're looking for more resources, strategies, and encouragement to assure every child feels like they belong, this book is for you. Visit kimbotto.com or Amazon to order your copy today. Another thing I noticed though, you're not just about the children that come into your space, you're also about the parents. And I heard you on one of your videos tell a parent, I'll never ever quit on your kid. Keep coming back.
Hmm.
This was a parent whose child wasn't able to get a haircut that day.
Hmm.
So tell me about what you've learned from the parents and what we should know about parents who are parenting kids with differences.
Grace. Give the parents a lot of grace, and you know, it I think a lot of people ask me, what has been your hardest sensory session? And my answer to that is the hardest sensory friendly haircut session are the ones that never happened, right?
Mm.
The ones where I'm not able to give them a haircut are the hardest ones because you can see that look of disappointment in the parent's face. Because it's like, I watch all the videos and, the bubble parties and the success stories. Like, why is my child different? And it's very important for me to reassure the parents like, hey, this happens. And that's why I try to post videos of unsuccessful sessions as well,
Yeah,
because it does happen, right?
right.
And I don't want the parents feeling like their child is just so different from all the other sessions. Like, no, this happens. And it's my job to tell the parents, bring him back. Like, this is not a, oh my God, I can't get it done. I don't want to see your child again. Don't bring him back. I'm like, no, this is me telling you, please bring him back because this is going to be a long-term thing. I'm playing the long game and I'm not going to give up on your child. And as far as like my knowledge of like anything sensory or anything neurodiversity, I also learned a ton from parents.
Mhm.
That's why it's very important for me to engage with parents as I'm doing these haircuts because they're also very transparent about their experiences as being parent of like neurodivergent kids. So I also get to learn, not just for like future sensory sessions, but also for the child. Like, if you can tell me I'll give you an example. I had a parent who told me one time that she didn't realize that her child could do well alone with like professionals, whether it's a dentist, barber, or a doctor, until the child I think he got sand stuck in his ear.
Uh-huh.
And then she took him to the ER and she had to step out of the room for the medical provider to
Right.
see the child, and he did incredible. Like she said, she tried at home to get the rock out, and it was unsuccessful. But with her stepping out of the room, the child was able to be seen. And she said that's when it clicked for her that, oh my God. So if I can just find the right professional for him, I think he'll be able to get a haircut. And that's exactly what she did, right? And she shared that story with me, and to me, it just kind of like it just kind of taught me a valuable lesson in that you have to listen to the parents, listen to their experiences, because this could help how you serve other families in the future. So I have a soft spot for like parents because it's like I just know, like, for me, it's just a 35, 40, 45-minute session.
Mm-hmm.
But for them, they have to wake up every day and make a
That's
decision to
right.
love their child and to be
That's
there for their
right.
child and seek out the best possible services for their child. And, to them, to me, they're the real heroes in these sessions. And like I said, I just have a lot of respect and admiration for these parents.
Well, on behalf of all those parents, I just want to say thank you because they go into many spaces where they're not told, yeah, "Keep trying, please come back." They're actually
Yes.
told the opposite, and the way you
Yes.
treat them with such dignity and honor
Yeah.
and, Henry, you've become kind of a voice for inclusion
Hmm.
in this space. So and you also say you hope that this isn't just about barbershops, but that it goes out into different areas. What changes would you like to see?
I would like to see this be the standard. I would like to see, any neurodivergent child or, any child with disabilities be able to walk into their dentist appointment, and it is a standard that the dentist is already trained and specialized to be able to provide accommodations for neurodivergent individuals. Flights, I think Emirates Airlines are kind of leading that in the airline industry because every single one of their employees are, trained to be autism affirming, right?
Mm,
I love that. So I would like to see this be the standard, not just in the barbering industry, but just in the world, because I feel like I've had many dentists, I've had many doctors, educators send me messages and said, "Hey, like from your videos, I'm able to implement some of these techniques and strategies in
yes.
the classroom, in the dental office." And I think that's when it really clicked for me that, like, oh my God, like what I'm doing can transcend industries and
Yes.
essentially, hopefully, just touch the world in general, right? And yeah, this is just honestly, this has just been a really special year for me. I try to soak it all in, and I just understand that this could be like a point of inflection, right? In how
Mhm.
neurodivergent individuals are perceived and how they're treated with their activities of daily living or, services that they might need. And I'm super excited for the possibilities.
So you talked about changing the way neurodivergent people are perceived.
Yes.
What have you learned about people who are neurodivergent that you'd want other people to know?
Um, honestly, the biggest things that I've learned is that yes, they do have differences, but what I've realized is once you adapt, right, the space, and once the world adapts to them, then they're just kids. They're just kids, right? And I think a lot of the disconnect comes from trying to get them to fit into our world.
Yes.
But when we adapt our world to meet their needs, then a lot of my sessions don't even really feel like sensory friendly haircuts. Because once I'm in with the kid, I'm telling you, it's just a haircut, you know. So that's one of the things that I've learned is that um they're just kids. They want to have fun. They want to play. They want to be heard, right? And once you're able to understand their needs and meet those needs, things are just literally smooth sailing. So that's why I try to post content and try to like narrate what I'm doing because I understand how intimidated I was to do my first service, my first sensory friendly service. I was scared, Kim. I was scared. So I'm hoping from my experiences and me showing people like, hey, these are human beings, these are individuals. And the more you can understand their needs and try to meet it, the more you realize they're just kids who just want to have fun, who
Right.
just want to be heard, and who want to look good. A lot of my kids, when I give them the mirror, they love their haircuts. They're
Yes.
like, they
Yes.
smile and you can see the big smile in their face, and they generally love that they look good. So they love haircuts. They just might not love the process or the experience. So once you get them to love the process, love the experience, I'm telling you, everything is just kind of smooth sailing from there.
Well, I want to point out, you said you were scared the first
Yeah,
haircut you gave.
absolutely.
When we watch videos of you, you do not look the least bit scared or intimidated. So I
Yes.
think it's a learning for us. You were afraid, but you continue to step toward that child and that
Yes.
parent with
Yes.
curiosity, with flexibility. One of the best videos I saw, because I think sometimes, especially in churches and schools, we can have our rules and this is the way we do it. But I saw you let kids pick a sensory toy out of a bucket,
Yeah.
and a kid picked one toy and was still super upset.
Mhm.
And you're kinda standing there, you're thinking, and you're like, "What's going on?" And you're like, "Oh, maybe he
Mhm.
wants another one."
Mhm.
So you didn't have this set rule, only one. You
Right.
turned back to him.
Yeah.
He got another thing out of the bucket. He then
Yeah.
had one thing in each hand, and then you went and had a really fun haircut.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yes.
way to go, Henry, to just stop, be curious, and not
Yeah.
just assume that this kid
Yeah.
is, should be happy with one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, Henry, you've described the work you do as your ministry and your calling.
Yes.
So, when you use these words, what does that mean to you?
It means I'm being spiritually led. It means that, in my opinion, I think God is using me as a vessel, right, to serve these kids. Like I told you, I'm a believer. And everything that led up to this journey, like if you would have told me, Kim, when I was in barber school, that I would be on this journey servicing neurodivergent kids, I would say you were nuts. Like I would say no, like that's not why I got into barbering. That's not what I love doing. I don't really know anybody who's on the spectrum, so why would you? But that's why I said like it's a ministry, it's a calling, because God placed me on this path. And I get so many comments of people saying, "Oh my God, like you were born to do this. Like you're so talented." And I say, "Wow, like it almost feels like one of those I don't know if you ever watched, like you've ever seen the movie what's that movie? Slumdog Millionaire, where he was able to
Hmm.
answer every question because previous life experiences had given him
Uh-huh.
the answers. I
Uh-huh.
honestly feel like I'm at that moment in my life right now where everything I've done in the past has kind of led me to this moment. It has prepped me to be the person, to be the voice for neurodivergent individuals, not just in the hair industry, but just, you know, overall. So when I say this is my ministry, this is my calling, it means it's more than a job. It's more than a
Yeah,
career.
it
It's not
is.
about
Yeah.
money. It just means that like I literally feel like what I'm doing is going to impact so many families and so many individuals, but I just wanted to even go well beyond me. Like I want to be able to inspire other professionals and other service providers to start offering this level of accommodations and safe spaces and inclusion in their respective industries. And hopefully, like I said, have this be the standard. So just from everything I've done in the past, that you know just everything that led up to this moment, it's definitely divine. I feel like it's spiritual. I can't tell you what led me to invent the weighted capes. It was just like a hunch, right? But
Mhm.
now that I'm on this journey, it's clear that God planted me with the idea of the weighted capes because he knew that was what would lead me to start servicing neurodivergent individuals.
Yeah, so let's talk about the weighted capes for a second.
Yes.
They're barber capes
Hmm.
that are weighted. So, and
Yes.
and for those who don't know, for kids who are neurodivergent, or for individuals who are neurodivergent, weighted blankets, weighted animals are very soothing for them. And Henry, I gotta, if we can just talk for a second. I've been thinking, like, what would that be like to have those weighted capes to be like art smocks,
Yes.
where in the school where you're doing things where you need to put an art smock on a kid, instead put a weighted cape that helps calm them. I have all kinds of ideas for you to expand.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've even thought about like flights. A lot of kids, a lot of neurodivergent kids struggle on flights. So
Yeah.
what would that look like having a weighted cape? Because the weighted cape was designed for the seated position, right?
Yes.
So, and on a flight, you're seated. So what would that look like to have, a weighted cape draped on your kid, during the flight? And we also have a prototype of a version that comes with lap pads. So I'm
Nice.
very, very excited about that as well.
Nice. And we'll talk about we'll drop in the show notes where you can get the weighted capes because they're
Okay.
available for purchase. And
Yes, they are.
Henry, at the end of your haircuts, you do a bubble party, you celebrate. So I would love for us, as we're nearing the end, what do you want to celebrate? What are you seeing or learning that you want to celebrate right now?
What would I like to celebrate? Like me personally?
Yeah, yeah, you.
Oh my God, what would I like to celebrate? I would love to celebrate the fact that I am signing the lease to a bigger space
Nice.
in which I'll be able to hire and train more people and serve more families next year. I would also like to celebrate the fact that I've raised enough money to be able to offer completely free haircuts to
Mhm.
the families that I serve all of 2026, right? So
Yes.
being able to serve more families and do more services for free
Amazing.
is something that I'm super excited about and something that I think is worth celebrating.
Yes.
Something that's worth a bubble party for sure.
Yes, definitely a bubble party. Yeah, I'm celebrating that with you, Henry. Well, at the end
Thank
of
you.
each episode, we end with some rapid fire questions. So you ready for some quick questions?
Let's do it.
What is your favorite sensory tool in your shop?
Oh, the rainbow slug.
Oh,
Hmm.
I don't know that.
The
I'll have
rainbow
to.
slug. If you watch my videos, you'll see it. It's like this multicolored like snail thing. It's a hit.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Okay,
it's a
great.
hit.
Rainbow
Hmm.
slug. Got it.
Hmm.
Okay. What's something from your home of Nigeria that you wish more people in the US understood better?
Oh, okay. I think Nigerian have some of the most brilliant minds in the world, but there's just unfortunately not too many opportunities. So there's a lot of wasted talent, a lot of wasted intellect, and it breaks my heart every day because Nigeria is one of those countries where you can work hard, be a good person, do the work, get educated, and still live in poverty, and it's
Mhm.
very, very devastating.
Yeah, that is. Okay, this is a bit of a switch of a question then.
Yes.
What's the funniest thing a kid has said in your chair?
Um. Oh my God, I would have to go. I won't even say funniest thing. I would say funniest moment. I had a child who wouldn't let me cut his hair until I told him my deepest, darkest secret. So
Really?
it was a 15-minute negotiation process with this kid before I was even able to get his haircut. But of course, I prevailed. I was able to give him a haircut, and
Yes.
he
And
loved it.
did you share your deepest, darkest secret with him? Or at least a s
Of course not. I made something up on the spot,
Yes, I was gonna say, yeah. Very smart, very
and he
smart.
fell for
Uh-huh, very smart.
it.
Okay, it's the morning. Coffee, tea, or something else?
Coffee.
And what's your favorite family tradition?
Favorite family tradition. I would say reading to the kids and praying before putting them to bed every night.
Oh, what's your favorite children's book to read to them? Or a favorite?
Oh well, right now my son love this book called Soraya, which ironically was written by the lady who designed the first prototype of the weighted cape, Kim Robinson.
Really? Okay, I need to
Yes.
look that up. Okay, this is the last one, Henry. Finish this thought. Every child.
Every child deserves to be loved. Every child deserves a voice, and every child deserves to feel like they are they were created and brought into this world for a purpose, and they need to be led to find what that purpose is and live it out.
Mhm. Mhm. And we have the great honor to be able to be a part of that if we so
Yes.
choose. Henry, thank you so much. I'm telling you people, if you're listening, you're thinking, "I don't know how to engage with neurodivergent kids." Go to Henry's Instagram and watch his videos and just try a couple of the strategies that he uses.
Yes.
And how might we find you on Instagram and in all the places, Henry?
Also, at the Weighted Cape on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, geez, Twitter, everything. Now,
All the
my personal
places.
page is at Henry Tribes, and I'm very responsive. So if you feel like you want to send me a message or you want to talk, feel free to send me a message, and I'll more than likely get back to you. So at the Weighted Cape business page, at Henry Tribes, my personal page.
Okay, great. Henry, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
And just thank you for doing what you do. I know you're bringing a lot of joy, and for parents, having somebody that just loves their kid and wants to get to know them and be with them,
Yes.
that's a huge gift. So thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Every Child Belongs. If you found today's episode helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And don't forget to share this with a friend who might need to hear it. Together, we can create a world where every child belongs.